welcome to Enid Buzz E-Talk, where we buzz about local events, hot topics, and sometimes we talk to special guests. So, what's going on, guys?
The weather.
The weather, roller coaster.
Yeah.
Today, let's tell them it's freezing again.
Yeah. But it's melting. We're in a melting phase. And then we'll go into a freezing phase.
Except for tonight when it refreezes again.
But there'll be a melting phase then.
Yeah. Todd, you have beads on. What's up?
It's Fat Tuesday.
It is Fat Tuesday.
So this is a good day to go on a diet?
Yep.
And you said you're
what
giving up.
Hey, I got same problem.
Well, what are you giving up? Did you say?
I'm not giving up anything. I'm just letting everybody know it's Fat Tuesday, in case they forgot.
Yeah, because Facebook, I'm sure there's no mention of it on there. I bet today. I haven't checked.
I didn't see.
Well, if you checked Enid Buzz, it is on Enid Buzz this morning on the little holiday section. So
yeah, and don't ask me how I got these beads.
We're not going to ask.
Had something to do with a party Saturday night at Crappie's.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't want to hear the rest
No,
of that.
well, we're not going to.
It was clean. We were playing a game.
So anyway, changing the subject totally. Yeah. We've talked about weather. What do we got coming up today?
Today we are going to talk to the guys that are putting together the documentary for the Sultana disaster, the worst maritime disaster in the history that most people don't know about. We've mentioned it a couple times on Enid Buzz. These guys are getting together with actually some big Hollywood types, which we're not going to mention right now, but that'll be coming. But we're going to have Mark Marshall and Jeff Hoopingarner on in a couple of minutes and talk about that.
Yeah, they've already done a ton of work on it. I mean, it's ready to go. So
10 years. I think they started this project 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's due because what they say, the 150th anniversary is coming up next year. So they want to get this done, and they are on track to get it done. So we'll have those guys on here in a second talk about it. Cool. And we'll be back in a minute.
Enid Buzz E-Talk is filmed weekly at 580 Coffee House at 122 East Randolph and out at Oakwood Mall. Stop by every day from 11 to 1 for 50 cents off your first drink. 580 Coffee House downtown in Oakwood Mall.
And we're back. We've got Mark Marshall and Jeff Hoopingarner that are putting together the documentary on the Sultana disaster, and we just want to have you guys welcome you to the show, first of all, and just kind of tell us about first tell us how you guys got involved in the story of the Sultana.
I first got involved with Mike and Mark brought me this story about the Sultana and said this is the largest maritime disaster in U.S. history, and nobody knows about it, and that's kind of crazy, but it's actually true. I mean,
now how many people died in the Titanic?
Anybody? 1,200, I think.
About 1,200. So this is worse than the Titanic.
Yeah, over 1,600, and so that's relatively significant. And most of the, it's a compelling story because most of the people who died were Union POWs returning home after the war.
Which is kind of weird. When I first read that, I didn't even realize there was. I mean, you don't really think about Civil War POWs, but there were. I mean, and there were a lot of them.
Absolutely.
And that's something that we didn't really learn in high school or college in history class, which I thought was really interesting.
Not at all. So, I mean, immediately I was kind of hooked on the story because it seemed like one of those things that nobody's really done yet, and it's a very worthy cause that needs to get out there. I mean, people need to know about the Sultana.
Now, and you're with Raptor Media, so you're kind of the video documentary type guy. Mark,
he's the director.
You're the director, and so you and Mike. Now, did Mike get this whole thing started? Your brother Mike is not on camera with us, but did Mike kind of get the whole ball rolling on this?
He did. I was in London in fall of 2001 when he emailed me and said, I found a great story. He had done a trip to Andersonville, Georgia, to visit the POW prison camp there, the infamous one, and found one of these books in the library and read it and just saw the possibility of it. We have talked a lot about doing historical documentaries that people didn't know about, and this fit the bill perfectly. The thing with the Titanic was that, I mean, you'll notice that when they talk about the Titanic, they talk about the loss of life in terms of the Astors, the rich people, the wealthy, the captains of industry. Very rarely do they mention the second and third class passengers in steerage, the Irish immigrants that drowned, the women and children that perished. And I don't know why that is, but when the Sultana exploded and sending 1,600 men to their deaths, these were POWs in from a war that people were so weary of. People didn't want to know about it anymore. President Lincoln had been assassinated. The hunt was on for his killer. The telegraph lines were down. I think people just didn't want to know anymore. And
Just tired of all the killing.
Yeah, no,
and
exactly.
So what's the date of the? What was the date of the sinking?
It's April 26th,
27th,
27th.
1865.
1865. Okay, so was the war over?
Yes.
My history lesson isn't kicking in, but
Yes.
okay, so the war was over, and so
And Lincoln's funeral train was making its final approach to its, to his resting place, and the steamboat that was bringing the soldiers home, was vastly overloaded with 2,200 soldiers.
and it was what was it? The capacity on the steamboat?
It
Do
was
you guys
designed
know?
to carry 186 passengers. And
Really?
in addition to the soldiers, there were passengers. There was cargo. There were animals, and
Wow.
so in fact, there's one photo of the Sultana and the soldiers on it, taken 19 hours before the explosion at Helena, Arkansas. And when the soldiers saw the photographer, they rushed over to one side of the boat, and it started to capsize.
Oh, no.
And so they had to rush back over to kind of even it out.
Oh wow!
And unfortunately, again, these were forgotten men because they had been in the prison camps. A lot of them perished, and those who survived were skin and bones. They had disease, they were malnourished, and couldn't fend for themselves.
I mean, that's an interesting part of the story itself, is the POWs.
Sure.
Were there other steamboats that were also ahead of them or behind them, or was this like the one they just tried to get everybody on one steamboat to get them out of there?
There were other steamboats coming, so they were pulling into port, and that's one of the reasons why the Sultana overloaded everybody. They were getting, I think it was around $5 a head per soldier for
Oh,
POW.
really?
So I mean, they wanted to get as many of them on board and get them up the Mississippi so they could
I was going to
make
ask.
more
So
money.
it sank in the Mississippi.
Yes.
These guys drowned in
Just
the
north of
Mississippi
Memphis.
River.
Yeah.
That's just kind of unbelievable that so many people would. I mean, do they know why so many died? Was it the explosion or just the drowning? Or
There's lots of factors. I mean, it was an explosion, obviously fire. The Mississippi was in flood stage. So, I mean, it was very cold water. The POWs were in poor shape, so they were emaciated. They were, maybe some of them couldn't even swim. I mean, not everybody knew how to swim back then.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there was just a lot of different reasons that so many of them died. It wasn't just fire and the explosion, but I mean, it was drowning and multiple factors.
lot of
Maybe some of them, made it, but they just didn't make it.
Yeah, interesting. And so, and it's just strange that, I mean, I've posted on Enid Buzz a couple of times, and there's so many people that say, wow, I've never heard of that, never heard this story. Now, we do have a few books here on the subject. Is this just about it? I mean, has there ever been, that you guys know of, a documentary or a movie or a mention of it in anything?
The History Channel did a documentary several years ago, but it was a by the book, by the numbers documentary to fit within an hour. Very liberal on facts, but very short on the emotional impact. But there have been no feature documentaries. There have been attempts to do it, but they've never come to anything. So we're determined that we're going to break that cycle, and we're going to bring something very richly rewarding and hopefully honoring to the ancestors and their descendants, who more than anything just want this story told. They meet every year, descendants of the survivors and the dead, and their whole theme is remember the Sultana. They just want their ancestors to be remembered for the sacrifices that they made. And I think that's we want to honor that more than anything.
And so, speaking of that, they have another reunion coming up. When is that? And
April
are you guys
26th,
going to
27th.
that?
I won't be. I'll be in Los Angeles, but
Okay.
Jeff and Mike will be
You're going to
going.
go? Okay. And
We're
do some shooting?
interviews and talking to people and getting facts.
So you guys are kind of already in documentary mode.
Sure.
You're already getting
Sure.
footage now. to get this whole thing really rolling, you guys need, some backing, and so you've got some future fundraising coming up. Talk about is it the producer that you guys have coming up?
I have an old friend named Jim Michaels, who I've known for 30 years. Jim and I worked at Universal together, and Jim is now a co-executive producer for the TV series Supernatural. Has a lot of other television credits as well. And Jim agreed to be an executive producer on this, which means that he will help guide us and get the word out. We also have, we can't say yet, but we have a major Hollywood actor who has agreed to not only narrate but also wants to executive produce as well. And I think we'll bring a tremendous amount to the project. We'll be able to announce him soon.
Okay, and that's pretty big news, and we will probably have you guys on again after that announcement, so we can talk a little bit more about him, the new Hollywood star that coming in, and then also the fundraising that you guys are going to have in the future. So we'll have you guys on again, but right now we just kind of want to get the buzz going around Enid, because this is such a cool story, and we think it's so cool because it's getting done from Enid. I mean, Enid natives are the guys involved in this. Now, do you guys foresee you yourselves being the documentary filmers and producers and director throughout the whole thing? I mean, you guys are going to keep control of everything.
Yes, he's the main guy.
Okay.
And Mike and I are the support team. Mike will be local and I will be long distance, but I'll still be supporting. It's a great team, and one that has a lot of passion. Mike this has been his passion for over 10 years now. In fact, we have some footage already that we had shot that unfortunately was standard def, but it included an original son and an original daughter of survivors of the Sultana.
Wow.
I mean, these were direct descendants of men who survived, and their stories are fascinating and still very. Although both of them have passed on in the last 2 years, they're very. It was still very fresh to them at the time we spoke to them. 60 years on, 80 years on. So there's a lot to this, and it's a big project, but it has national reach. It has international reach.
Sure.
I mean, that's what it sounds like. I mean, it sounds like a pretty important part of history that needs to be told.
Absolutely, and we have a very capable director who has a passion for it as well. So I think it's going to surprise a lot of people.
Well, great. And you guys have more information. You have both a website and a Facebook page, which is probably facebook.com/Sultana documentary, and then sultanadocumentary.com. And I think you guys have some interviews there and some videos posted there as well for more information. So we'll just send you guys there. We will have more information on Enid Buzz. We're going to follow this story. I'll continue to blog about it. We'll have links. We'll have the big announcement coming up and more fundraising information. And we'll just keep everybody informed and just follow this through the whole process, because I think it's going to be great.
That'd be wonderful. I think if people can immerse themselves in this ahead of time, I think they're going to... We haven't even begun to tell the stories that are involved in this. There are so many more stories to tell. So, and we hope people will get involved.
Well, great. Well, Mark and Jeff, thanks for being here. And what we may also do is we may put information about these books. So if anybody wants to buy them off of Amazon or check them out, maybe we'll see if they're at the library. But to get more information, and we may even take some information out of this. And like I say, Enid Buzz, we're going to follow it. We'll keep everybody updated on what's going on, and we just look forward to what you guys have going on in the future.
Great. Thank you for your help.
Well, thanks for being here, guys.
Appreciate it.
We'll be back in a minute.
Welcome to Miles Music. The Miles family has been specializing in new and used pianos, organs, guitars, and digital keyboards for almost 50 years. They're more than just a local business, with a customer base in 44 states and 14 countries. Miles Music is the place if you're looking for vintage Hammond organs, Leslie speakers, or Roland digital equipment. If it's a beautiful grand piano you want, well, look no further, because Miles Music has new and used grand pianos of all kinds and for every budget. So come on down to 1016 West Broadway here in Enid, or call Kip himself at 237-0910.
Wow, that was cool.
That was pretty cool. Those guys have got some big names coming, and I can't wait to announce it. No, don't say anything yet.
I won't say nothing.
That documentary is going to be cool. And
I already forgot, but anyway.
yeah, conversation with Ty here.
It's going to be a big movie, and we'll go ahead and tell everybody that I will be in the starring role.
I actually think it could become a movie. I mean, that's a cool
you've got
story.
the beads, but
Yeah, they had beads back in the Civil War.
yeah, it was kind of on the river, Mississippi, right?
It was
all
close
ties
to
in.
it
It
was
all
close
ties
to New
in.
Orleans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Here. I'm going to throw something out there real quick. Did you guys know there's a New Orleans Pelicans
basketball?
NBA team?
Yeah, it used to be the Hornets.
Who thought of that name? New Orleans Pelicans?
It's almost as bad as Hornets.
They're pretty tough.
Anyway, let's get back on subject.
To get off subject,
Yeah, we got things going on this week. What's Friday night?
First Friday.
First Friday.
Darius Rucker.
Darius Rucker. Who's going to be there to film the line coming and going?
These guys.
So you guys look for us. If you're going to the Darius Rucker concert, look for us. We'll film you, post that Friday night. First Friday's going to be going on. I know that Mulligan Sports Bar is going to have Super Freak out there. If you've ever seen Super Freak, there's a song Super Freak, but there's also an Oklahoma City band, disco band, which is going to be out at Mulligan Sports Bar.
Can I go to there? What time is that? Can I?
That is after the Darius Rucker concert,
Okay.
so you can make it.
All
Yes,
right, good.
It is. I think that's going to be a good time. So shout out to those guys.
Let me go and put that in my phone.
Put that in your phone.
With a 5-minute memory.
And what else? Anything else going on this week?
I'm going to North Dakota.
Todd's going to be leaving, so next Monday when we film E-Talk, we were going to try to Skype Todd in and show you how the whole Skype thing works, and we will be talking about some stuff going on with Enid Main Street. We will have, who are we going to have in?
Well, Kelly or
Jared, maybe?
Kelly or Jared,
Kelly
somebody
or
from
Jared.
the new film festival and just Main Street stuff. So
Okay, yeah, so Film Festival coming. Speaking of Film Festival, we've got to work out a lot of details, but we are going to have a little film contest, Enid Buzz, where get your cameras rolling. We'll announce the subject matter. It's just going to be a kind of a contest for to get some shorts on your thoughts on Enid. We'll get more details, but we think that might work well in with the film festival coming up, which we will also get you more details, especially next Monday when we talk about that. So anyway, everybody, get ready for First Friday. Get out there. What are the hours of First Friday?
He's 6 to 9.
6 to 9 Friday night. I think the weather is supposed to be close to 60.
Okay, but we didn't plan a lot of outside stuff, just, because weather and March don't really go good together.
The weather is up and down. So anyway, big news, the Darius Rucker concert, First Friday. And don't forget the mobile app. We have crossed 3,000 downloads.
Wow.
We've got enidbuzz.com. Get on there and read the blog for all your information. enidbuzz.tv, where you're hopefully seeing this. And facebook.com/enidbuzz. If you guys want to advertise, buzz@enidbuzz.com. If you have comments or suggestions, buzz@enidbuzz.com. So anyway, contact us. And in the meantime,
Buzzing around.
we'll keep you buzzing. We'll see you next week.